that is, I think it's Pete Buttigieg, who's the latest of the 550 Democrats to, enter the race. He's now declared, this is the Indiana mayor, he's now declared that he is running for president, and he made this big speech. I don't know, did we play this? I don't think we've played this speech on this show yet, where he's gay, right? So he's the first mayor, South Bend, Indiana, and where Mike Pence, our vice president, was the governor, right, of Indiana. And he makes this speech about how Mike Pence is hounding him because Mike Pence is a traditional Christian who believes that marriage is between a man and a woman. So this is not his announcement that he made yesterday, I believe it was, that he's going to be president, but this is earlier. And listen to this.
My marriage to Chasten has made me a better man. And yes, Mr. Vice President, it has moved me closer to God. You may be religious and you may not. But if you are, and you are also queer, and you have come through the other side of a period of wishing that you weren't, then you know that message, that this idea that there is something wrong with you, is a message that puts you at war not only with yourself, but with your Maker. And speaking only for myself, I can tell you that if me being gay was a choice, it was a choice that was made far, far above my pay grade. And that's the thing I wish the Mike Pences of the world would understand. That if you got a problem with who I am, your problem is not with me. Your quarrel, sir, is with my Creator.
So he's setting up, the struggle is not real. He's setting up this thing in which Mike Pence is somehow attacking Pete Buttigieg, a mayor with whom he got along when he was in office. I mean, Mike Pence is just trying to go around practicing his religion. And this guy's saying, your quarrel, sir, it's with my Creator. And then Pence is like, what the hell is he talking about? Here's Pence.
I think Pete's quarrel is with the First Amendment.
How so?
All of us in this country have the right to our religious beliefs. I'm a Bible-believing Christian.
And is that belief that
my wife and I
are
are Bible-believing Christians. We cherish our faith. We put our trust in God's word, as do tens of millions of Americans. And I think as he seeks the highest office of the land, as he seeks to be that person that takes the oath of office to uphold the Constitution, he'd do well to reflect on the importance of respecting the freedom of religion of every American.
The struggle is not real. I mean, the guy's running for president. He's gay. 10 years ago, maybe so. Maybe that would have been a restriction on him. No one cares. This is when Obama was running for president. Everybody said, oh, the first black president. I was thinking, it's nice to get a first black president, but I knew he could get elected. I knew people would vote for him. People really don't care. That struggle is over. The struggle for inclusion is over. Everybody gets it. Fine. But they still have to do it to supply meaning for their lives. And by the way, sometimes the struggle is an actual invention, like with the tax cut. They've been complaining about, the New York Times, a former newspaper, ran a piece today. Face it, you probably got a tax cut. Face it. That's the headline. Studies consistently find that the 2017 law cut taxes for most Americans, but most of them don't buy it. If you're an American taxpayer, you probably got a tax cut last year, and there's a good chance you don't believe it. Ever since President Trump signed the Republican-sponsored tax bill in December 2017, independent analyses have consistently found that a large majority of Americans would owe less because of the law. Why not? Why don't people believe it? It's something like only just 20% were certain that they had gotten a tax cut. This is the New York Times speaking, right? To a large degree, the gap between perception and reality on the tax cuts appears to flow from a sustained and misleading effort by liberal opponents of the law to brand it as a broad middle-class tax increase. Well, who could have done that, my friends? Who could have done that? It's the New York Times. New York Times had this is August, their big op-ed with the graphs and the things that move when you look at it on your iPad. You know who the tax cuts helped? Rich people. That's what they say. And they're bragging about it, not Matthew Iglesias, who is a blogger and a journalist, right? He sends out a tweet. He says, nobody likes to give themselves credit for this kind of messaging success, but progressive groups did a really good job of convincing people that Trump raised their taxes when the facts say a clear majority. He's congratulating himself for lying. Here's the thing. Here's the reason people want this struggle to exist. Many great acts of heroism are essentially what you might call negative goods. Policemen, firemen, soldiers, they all do things that prevent or stop evil. The meaning of what they do derives from the evil that they prevent. It's a negative good. They're not adding to life. They're preserving life from the evil that threatens it. In the absence of evil, in the presence of peace, meaning comes from something else. Where does it come from? It comes from creation, the creation of children, the creation of families, the creation of businesses, the creation of new inventions, marriages, life, art, all these things that are part of the process, the deepest meaning of life. The deepest meaning of life are creations. The left doesn't even want us to do that. Listen to Bill Maher talking about the things that matter, the creation of life.
Wouldn't it be nicer to just have fewer people around? You know, it's no secret that there are a lot of Jewish people in show business. So on days here in Hollywood when it's a Jewish holiday, the traffic, delightful. Delightful. That's what we should be shooting for, to make every day look like a Jewish holiday in Los Angeles. So, please, masturbate, don't procreate. Yank it until Trump is throwing paper towels at you. And remember, the best thing you can do for Earth is not have kids die and stay dead.
See, really, once you understand that creation is what life is about, you can find meaning without evil. You can find meaning without struggle. You can find meaning. There's always going to be struggle. There's always going to be evil. But you will find meaning in doing the things that human beings were made to do: make families, make businesses, make new people, make a world, make art, make the things that you are made to make. It's inside everybody to make something. And I think that's where you're gonna find your meaning. These guys are so against life. They're so against life that they cannot find it without a struggle.